Hello world! Apple is handing over control of user data to China. A bug in Anker security cameras has caused a little mayhem. Google will start automatically changing your passwords for you. Cybercrime group KekSec introduces the Simp Botnet, and technology detection dogs sniff out USB sticks. That's in today's episode of The Week Web, where we break down and dissect cybersecurity related tech news. Apple often brags about how great they are at privacy and security. One example is their resilience to government agencies invading user privacy. In 2015, Apple went to great lengths to prevent the FBI from forcing them to unlock a terrorist's iPhone 5C. They made a big deal about it and the case went to court. Apple eventually got their way and wasn't forced to unlock the device, though the FBI did eventually manage to break into it with the help of a third party. The whole saga even has its own Wikipedia page. So, good guy Apple, I suppose? Well, not so fast. A new report from the New York Times citing leaked Apple documents and interviews with Apple employees throws Apple's goodwill into doubt and makes their stance on security and privacy look like some kind of convenient marketing ploy, that they're pro-privacy and security in the West because it's the cool new thing and that it's a business decision rather than based on principle. The reasoning here is derived from just how much control of user data Apple has handed over in China. In 2016, China passed a law requiring all personal data collected in China to be stored in China. That includes pretty much all iCloud data. Apple acquiesced to these demands, but they were also forced to store the decryption keys to this data in China, something which, in their defense, they did protest. Now, it's not unusual for countries to determine where their citizens' data is stored. The problem here is the scary level of concessions Apple have made to the Chinese government compared to their public stance on privacy in the West. Their actions in China couldn't be more diametrically opposed. According to the New York Times, in China, Apple has made the strange move of transferring the legal ownership of its user data to a Chinese company, meaning that if the Chinese government wanted to pilfer user data, they could completely bypass Apple and just get it from the other company. This, so says the New York Times, is Apple's way of circumventing a US law saying Apple can't hand over data to Chinese law enforcement. In fact, Apple's new China data center isn't even controlled by Apple, but rather by Chinese state employees, according to the New York Times. The good news is, Apple's Chinese data servers will be isolated from the rest of the iCloud network, so unless you live in China, your data shouldn't touch those servers at all. The overarching point to all of this is that I'm finding it increasingly hard to trust the reputation a business has on security and privacy, as companies seem to go whichever way the wind is blowing on these issues. It makes me think that the shift towards privacy and security we have in the West is just some kind of facade that companies could turn on a dime if, for whatever reason, it ever became convenient. This is a topic I'm interested to hear your guys' opinion on. Are you worried about the direction this is heading, or are you more indifferent that realistically speaking, Apple didn't have a choice here but to bend to the whims of the Chinese government or face being shut down in China? So can Apple really be blamed per se? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. A bug in certain Anker security cameras has caused a little mayhem. These security cameras utilize an app to display a live feed and recordings, but a dodgy server-side update caused the wrong cameras to become linked with the wrong accounts, meaning people were opening the app to find a switcheroo had taken place, that they were watching the live feeds of the insides of other people's homes and had access to all of their recordings, and that presumably someone else had access to their cameras. One Cosmic GG posted details of the issue on Reddit, that he checked the app like he always does to see on his security feed a woman that he doesn't know walking through a garage that he doesn't own. As you can imagine, people were rightly shocked by the whole incident. After all, this is a security camera company. To clarify, the company itself is Eufy, I think that's how you pronounce it, but the parent company which runs the show is Anker. On Eufy's website, they allege that privacy is our priority. They also say that they employ end-to-end encryption and that only you have the key to decrypt and watch the footage. Obviously, they haven't implemented this encryption in any meaningful way. A creepy new Google feature will automatically change your passwords for you. Idea being, if Chrome detects that one of your stored passwords for some website has been included in a data breach, it'll ask you if you want it changed. Upon accepting, it'll change the password for you to something random and save it in Chrome so you don't have to go through the hassle of doing it yourself. Dare I ask, what could go wrong? At first, you won't necessarily have to completely trust Chrome, because upon accepting a request, Chrome will spawn a zombie browser tab that'll change your password in front of you, moving the mouse and typing your new password autonomously. You will have the option to stop it at any point if you thought it was going wrong, kind of like Tesla Autopilot. You're in the driving seat and have the ability to take over if needs be, simply because all websites are different, and Chrome won't necessarily be familiar with how all of their password reset procedures work. LastPass has had a similar feature called auto change for a while now. I haven't used it though, so can't vouch for it. This new feature does of course require you to store your passwords within Chrome though. That's a pretty big downside. If you like hearing about cybersecurity news, do let me know by hitting like and turn on sub notifications so you're notified as soon as new episodes go live. The cybercrime group KekSec have spawned a new botnet which they're calling Simps. I'm only reporting on this particular story because it's not every day you come across a botnet called Simps. This new botnet is focused on carrying out DDoS attacks and uses code from the infamous Mirai botnet for its DDoS functionality. It infects IoT devices vulnerable to certain remote code execution vulnerabilities. The Uptick's threat research team have just published a deep dive on this botnet, though upon receiving a bunch of unwanted attention, the group have privated a YouTube video they had made to advertise their Simps botnet. In this ad, which I was quick to download before it went dark, the botnet uses a funky command line interface. They also demoed the capabilities of it by DDoSing Logan Paul's website for 20 seconds. That was an interesting surprise. A Discord server linked with the group contained users named Your Mummy and this, which is an MD5 hash. Don't go searching rainbow tables to see what this maps to, it's rather uncouth. You've heard of drug detection dogs, but have you ever seen a technology detection dog? Apparently these doggos have been a thing for over a decade, but it's news to me. They can sniff out USB sticks, SIM cards, mobile phones, and it's all down to the fact that electronics leak a small amount of a chemical called triphenylphosphine oxide, which is a coating commonly applied to electronics. The Australian Federal Police have announced an almost $6 million investment to train up more of them. Typically, these doggos are used for sniffing out electronics hidden by kiddie fiddlers, extremists, and other degenerates. As for things which aren't degenerate, Maltronics is a website run by myself where you can find an array of super cool pen testing products. Our gear is used in over 100 countries, and you can get 10% off with code SATANIC. Trusted by hobbyists, pen testers, and educational institutions, you can learn more over at maltronics.com. If you want to see more of this kind of video, make sure to let me know in those comments and turn on sub notifications so you don't miss any hacking news. I'm really happy with how this new format is going, and according to the analytics, you guys are too, which is great. Though if there's anything you think I could be doing better, anything at all, please let me know in the comments. I do try and read through as many comments as I can, so I'll do my best to respond to you. For behind the scenes footage, make sure to follow me on the Instagrams. As always, sources will be linked in the video description. Stay tuned for more hacking videos, and have a good one.